Hi, this is going to be more of a physical lesson. We've talked a lot about harmony and tonal centers and harmonic environments and getting to know the sounds and singing as you play and all this stuff that has to do with melody and harmony. And so today is the day that I want to take some time and just focus on rhythm a little bit. And specifically, I'm going to show you how you can use rhythm to help take your first steps to integrating your left and right hands together, especially for the people who are following this course who are not piano players, where the piano is not your main instrument. I think it's an area of just a lot of mystery for a lot of musicians is, on the piano, what do I do with my left hand? When do I get my left hand involved? When can I get started with that stuff? And how am I going to learn to play with both hands at the same time? And the main principle that I want to try to share with you in this lesson is something that's helped me a lot, which is the idea of using rhythm itself as really the primary coordinating force between your two hands. In other words, we're not going to learn to integrate our hands together by being very mental and left brain about it and being very rigid and working with a metronome and then hoping to try to inject some swing into that later. It's really the other way around. That if you can just get the pulse in your body and relax into that and feel that, then it's a much simpler matter to coordinate the hands based off of that rhythm. So let's start. I'll start here, B natural. And we're going to do this in what we call the fifth harmonic environment. So this B natural is going to be my note 5. And the first thing I need to do with the right hand is just clarify the notes of the fifth harmonic environment. If this is my 5, I need a whole step to 6, another whole step to 7, just a half step to 1, whole step to 2, whole step to 3, just a half step to 4, and one final whole step takes me to 5. So these are the notes I'm going to be working with. And I might step outside the harmonic environment because, as I said, today's class is really just about rhythm and learning to coordinate the hands. And so what we're going to do as kind of a first step to learning to do left-hand accompaniments, let's start with the simplest one we can imagine, which is just quarter notes. So we're just going to have a pulse going. I'll play octaves in the left hand on that note 5. And what I want you to think about is, there really aren't that many different sensations that you have to get used to in order to enjoy improvising comfortably over this pulse. Let's just take them one by one. Let's think about playing on the beat, right? So I could just play this note 5, and let's say I'm going to play quarter notes just like I do in the left hand. I'm playing on the beat. Now, as I say, this is not a left brain activity. This is not just theory. So really, I would encourage you to follow along, even if, especially, if you've never played left and right hands together on the piano, it's not enough to just understand the concept mentally. You got to do it. You got to do it and feel what that feels like in your body as your whole body comes to the piano keyboard at the same time, right? Left and right together. Left and right hands are playing at the exact same time, and that's one feeling. Okay, another feeling. We could play off the beat. So I've got my pulse going in my left hand, and the right hand is going to always alternate with that. It's going to play on all the upbeats, and it's a different feeling. And it's just one that we have to experience as well for a few seconds. Okay, now let's start to combine them. Imagine what they call an anacruza, or a pickup note, where we're going to play on the 8th note just before the beat, and we're also going to play on the beat. I'll play it with notes 4 and 5 in the right hand so you can distinguish them. And what I'm going to do is, just before beat 1 of every measure, I'm going to play the note 4 and I'm going to play beat 5 on the beat. Right? That's a feeling we have to get used to. I can do it every 2 beats. So I'm playing just before the beat and then I'm playing on the beat. A natural complement to that is to play on the beat and just after the beat. So I'll play on the downbeat and then I'll play on the next upbeat. I'll play 5 and then 4. And then we can combine all of these. We've seen 4 possibilities. I've got on the beat, off the beat, and then I've got just before and on the beat, and then on the beat and just after, right? be as relaxed as possible. It'll help you. I mean, the more relaxed you can be with your left hand, what you want to get out of is that feeling that you need to control things, like a robotic arm in a factory, and I must play in that exact millisecond that corresponds to that correct beat in time. If you just relax and let the wave kind of flow through your body, that's the easiest way to be very precise with your rhythm. You can really trust, you know, the physical universe. You can trust gravity and inertia and all these things, that if you just enter into that rocking motion, you'll always arrive just on time with those beats in the left hand. And all we're learning to do is to see the notes in the right hand, how they kind of interlace, how they fit in with this basic pulse that we're playing in the left hand. Now, I would encourage you to just explore that for a little while, and you can move those notes around. Notice how you get a totally different effect by playing legato with the right hand. You just leave your hand down. So in other words, it doesn't have to be this staccato. It could just be, my bass pulse in my left hand is still staccato, but I can just let my right hand drop and stay there, right? Now, I would encourage you to practice that. All these different rhythms, you know, go through them slowly in the beginning with just a couple of notes to make sure you get comfortable with that feeling, to make sure you know that sensation of what it is to play just before the beat and on the beat, or on the beat and just after, or playing on all the offbeats, or playing on all the downbeats. But then what I would encourage you to do is just put all that out of your mind and see if you can just relax into playing in a more rhythmic way, keeping that pulse going with your left hand, and learning to conceive of the notes in the right hand as, you know, by their relation to the left hand. In other words, see and feel exactly where they fall relative to the beat, so that you can put that note in there and still come down on the beat on your left hand. Once you're comfortable doing that, you can even do, you know, what's a lot of fun, which is to play double time in the right hand. And all that means is that instead of playing kind of swing eighth notes, you're really playing like swing 16th notes. It's probably easier to just show you what I mean by that. So I encourage you to really explore this and practice it on your own. It's really the first step to doing much more sophisticated accompaniments in the left hand on the piano. But first we've got to get that basic pulse flowing through our body, and we've got to learn to use that to organize the music and to organize the work of our two hands. It's something you can practice in all 7 harmonic environments, anywhere on the piano keyboard. And for the moment, you can suspend all the work we've been doing about, you know, thinking about the scale degrees and singing the sounds and, you know, thinking about all the harmony stuff. As soon as you can get a set of sounds clear, you know, that you can see on the piano keyboard, you can just relate to the piano in a very percussive way. Just think of this as a percussion exercise, because it's really about getting to know those sensations in your body and getting control of them, and learning to use the rhythm itself to organize the work of your two hands on the piano.